And we're back in Satisfactory. Continuing from where we left off. We've buttoned it up, and I let it run until everybody was filled up, and set the borders of my top areas down there. I need to button this power up once we're done here, but get this going. This this may be the top floor. It's a good thing because I think right in Fred's light line here. Hey, Fred. Yeah, I think this needs to be our top story. So we have two inputs coming in here from below. There, boom, boom. So we've got our reinforced iron plate coming in there and our rods coming in there. And the plate and the rods together are going to make modular frames in 3 machines. And then we need to have one more assembler for versatile frameworks. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to stack up my 3 assemblers over here and bring their inputs in along the back. So that means I need to have this assembler as far this way as he can go. And I need to have his inputs coming from down here. And I'm going to bring one up this. We're going to have these guys kind of staggered. So we'll have one line here that's going to go over it up, and one line here that's going to go over it up. Get us a ladder so I don't have to keep trying to jump. But the first question is, where is this going to go? So this is as close to that wall as I want to be, which means that my hole is going to be along this line somewhere. This needs to be between these two. I'd really like to move that guy to the right one, which means this needs to be one more to the right. That's there. That one's there. Sky. That's lined up there. We need to tuck these in nice and close. Give us some room out here. This thing is going to need to be tucked in that. Center it. Like that. So all 3 of these are going to be merged together and and sent into one here. I think we can just merge them all along. It up. Other input to the versatile framework comes from the steel beams, which comes from way down there, and we'll just bring it up on this corner. This is going to be versatile frameworks at 100%. These guys are going to be modular frames, and they're 5/3 of a modular frame, so 3.333 or 1.666 output per minute. Close enough. And I'm putting them aligned and as close as it will let me put them. Which should give me just enough room on this side for these two inputs to make their way over to this line. Let's get our holes set up. So put it roughly in place, hit H, nudge it into place where we can't click it. There we go. See, I can't actually click it into place there. So if I had this splitter on the right-hand side, we'd have the problem of getting both of our inputs around behind it. So I put this splitter here, that one there. Make sure it's aligned. And it's inside the back. Not there. Guy similar like that. Did that right. These guys should all be just a bit inside the wall. That looks good. Set up the verticals from the underneath first. That's just a manifold layout. I could just do that. I'd prefer to have this nice and clean. So we're going to do that. And here, I'm going to bring it to here and back by 2. So even though we don't hang out on this level, those are still nicely laid out. And our inputs will come and clip in here. In fact, at this point, we're now safe to bring those up. That's acting like it isn't connected down there. If I give this a moment, it should start dumping some output up here. There's our rods. There's our plates. And those will start loading up the machines upstairs, even though they have no power. And let's get them programmed. These are for modular frames. I think I programmed the first one, right? Yeah. So it's 1 2/3 by 3. That's a total of 5 per minute coming out of these guys. Tuck the holes in underneath, as usual. The other trick is, where's the power? Power is coming down on this line. So it's like that far. Like 3 ticks over from this middle line. As far as this direction is concerned, I can put it on the center line here. Center line. This line. Looks good from this angle. Looks good from that angle. Try to avoid falling off the tower here. This is obviously on the same on this line, so it's one more than the center. You right along this line. And that looks it'll have to be good enough. There. Yeah, good enough. I'm still a little disappointed I can't bring it exactly down, but let's guy is coming right along. So it's on this bit here. So kind of the corner here, maybe a little this way of it. And that's acceptable. We're going to need to hook this up to power from below. There. Down to there. All the machines up here are powered. We still need to get the outputs merged together and the final component brought up and the outputs brought down. He's hooked up, programmed. So his output is going to be over here. His input's going to be here. So we've got these guys coming out and come here. That looks like that's not quite square. That. Merger. I'm going to head it toward the left. And these guys are going to come down and they're going to do mergers. That way. I'm okay with that little bit of clipping of that belt into that. That's not going to be square, so we're going to bring it to here. So I want to see output here. Pick up that belt, I'll see output here. Not getting anything else in the way. This machine needs to make one. Oh, no, it doesn't. And that's because there we go. But now we've got stuff coming. I misread the display. It's constructing. And he's constructing. And he's constructing, so should be able to see some output here fairly soon. Okay, so we have some modular frames. And if I put the belt in here, I should see more from him. Yep. And from him. Yep. So modular frames are flowing. Make sure they're getting into now we need to get the steel beams in and get the versatile frameworks routed back down to the bottom, all the way to the bottom. And we're just going to let him do a nice gentle S-bend. So he needs to go all the way down. He's going to run into somebody there. So we're going to need to stop and move him one way or the other. But one way of doing that is you move him down just above that. We're just going to ride our parachute down a little bit. Get down to here. It's the first step. I'm just going to hook onto him outboard, just like that. He's headed the wrong direction. Can't have that. No, that's correct. Here. I think we can make it all the way to the ground. Yes, we can. And now I can take this, put a storage crate in just like that. Put this will collect all of the frames, all the versatile frames that come down until I can finish the belt going all the way up. Just like we've got this belt here. The other thing is we need to have our steel beams going up. It is quite possible that I will build factory towers that are larger than the primary structure of the space elevator. Although, I may get up as high as that thing. So now we need to go from here. Needs to go down. I'm not sure I can get all the way down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop at the same level and turn. Coming right along this row right here. About that. The words totally planned come to mind, but it would be a lie. And now we're just going to take all of these. Oh, look at that. I actually filled that box up. It's going to come in handy. Now, as it turns out, I am actually turning out twice as many modular frames as I need. That's that's on purpose. I could have reduced it. So we actually have an auxiliary output. So I need to split my modular frames. It's actually a 50-50 split, so that's good. So I put in a splitter here. Need to make sure we line up with him. I could have put in a double door here, a double hole. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one out here. Because it happens to be lined up. Nope, that's the wrong one. It's that one. And it's not lined up. So what I need to do is bring it out one of these guys. I don't think I can bring it to here. Bring it to here. Yeah. So we're kind of touching the edge here, but we have an auxiliary output of additional modular frames in the back. Now, that's not going to be very many of them. Literally, it's going to be 2.5 modular frames per minute. but it's not nothing. See, we've already got a couple that are coming out. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to make sure we get some on this line. I mean, we should. You notice we're already up to 800 of the smart plates. I want to be on the other side of the base when we hit that 1,000 so I can shunt that machine off. Oh, it's so slow. Comes some more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay! So we're getting that split. This needs to go down. And it's going to be going down that far. I'm going to turn it that way. The appropriate level. And we are going to come over. Yeah. Come over to the midpoint here. This guy right down here. And you'll pick up some modular frames. We've already got 18 versatile framework. We need 1,000 of them. Really quickly, 1,000 versatile framework. We are producing 5 per minute, so 200 minutes. So it's going to be about 3 hours of runtime before we have produced enough of those. But that's okay. We've got a whole bunch more things to do before we are going to want to be opening that up. So our next step is to button this up. And I can go ahead and do that on the recording so you can see what I've been doing to button it up. Okay, there's the obvious stuff. I think you've seen me trim the fat off of it. The other half is taking care of the flooring. We put the walls in place. Oh, let's cure that. Okay, so at this level we're good. Now it's a matter of to put all of our rim in place so I can run around. Makes it easier to erase it if it's all there to begin with. We're going to start from here. Wait a minute, let's make sure I didn't pick up anything extra. Okay, so this has got my border. Now we head into here. I had some stuff here. It's extra. Good here. And we look up. I need to take away all of those foundations. There's going to be 16 of them. I also want to put a new foundation in one level higher. And one way of doing that is try to clip it in on top of this guy. Zoop mode. There we go. I'm just tapping the control key when I've got my foundation highlighted. I make sure I don't delete my assembler by mistake. Okay, so that sandwich layer is now thinned up. We go down to the next floor and we just make sure that I've got all of this done. That's done. Double check this guy. He's done. So what I want to do is I want to take this 4x4 area and I want to set up a building around it that's 6x6. It just does the outer walls, and we'll decorate that. And then we'll have supports from the outer area that support these inner sandwich walls. If that means we occasionally have, foundations creeping out from the sandwich walls to look like supports, that's cool. If it means that I have pylons that go up the corners, that's cool too. We'll figure that out. Okay. Now I can leave some stuff in there. Did I pick up any? I don't think I picked. No, I didn't pick up any of these guys. Got 48 of them already. So these guys are slow. I'm just gonna stretch a belt out. You are literally just going right to the space elevator. Bring it to here. Send it up. Oh, there. That's where to turn it. We can bring it to here. Doesn't need to be pretty. It's now a faster way to get to and from. Oh, look at all these versatile frames that we did already. And we get back here, and this is our production rate. Nice. So we are at 816 smart frames. Now, it's tempting, once my smart frames are done, to revisit this factory over here and lay it back out to produce more of what I want and less of what I don't care about. If I turn off the smart frames, I think I'm not actually using up all of my inputs, because I just kind of laid this out, because some of these are moving slow. Now, if we had everything finely balanced, these miners would be running at 100% instead of 54. So we are using a small fraction of our capacity here. We're using just over half of our iron. And that may be because boxes are full. I thought I'd set it up so that boxes are definitely not full. I mean, we've got decent quantities of stuff, including decent quantities of the modular frames, so I didn't really need to build double modular frames. But, yeah, if I'd built the right number of modular frames, it would have left one of those iron miners completely idle. Anyway, so we've got a decent supply of rotors and of that. Okay. It would be interesting once the... Let's see, what is all being used by this guy? So, to make the smart plating, they're sucking up plates and rotors. So if I just turn off this machine, it will increase our plate and rotor output. So yeah, all I have to do is turn off this machine when we hit 1,000, and our factory over here is already set up properly. As I said, we could rejigger it to be more effective, produce more reinforced iron plates, more rotors. Although I don't need a lot of rotors, I do need a lot of plates. So I could take this entire area over here and dedicate this to one big, massive reinforced iron plate factory, which would then allow me to use a lot more of the Tier 2 belts, Mark II belts, Mark II lifters, and so on. But I don't want to do that until we've done all of our smart plates for the elevator. Yeah, we'll think about that. And if I'm doing reinforced plates, I think I can use that alternate recipe. And we can start thinking about what milestone is next. We're basically done with Tier 3. So Tier 4, we start getting into things that require the steel beams and the modular frames to unlock, which is why we are accumulating those like crazy. Logistics Mark III, I believe these belts require steel beams to make the belts. So before we can start using a lot of Mark IIIs, I need to do a bigger steel factory, but that's where advanced steel comes in, which gets us better miners. Better miners means immediately we have more resources available to us. And all we have to do is build more factory. Stators, motors, automated wiring is the other thing we need for the space elevator. Power platforms. This is really nice for stringing power a long ways. That's platforms and towers. Especially nice if you end up building a huge power plant far, far away. Hypertubes. If you're going to build stuff far, far away, the hypertubes are the way to get there. And of course, we need the encased industrial beams to be able to do that. So yeah, blueprints, better logistics, the rest of steel, power, and hypertubes. We are actually fairly close to being able to finish off phase 2 in terms of the number of things we need to unlock. These are all not too big. In fact, I could go start gathering stuff. Let's see if I can unlock the blueprint machine. Might be able to do that right now. Modular frames we got down here. I'm going to need to go back up to... Oh, I went the wrong way. I'm going to need to go get a whole bunch of beams. In fact, let's get a whole ton of them. Did I build a truck? Where did I build the truck? Did I build it? Did I delete it? I guess I must have unbuilt it if I built it. Oh well, it's not actually materially faster. Oh, but we can carry more stuff. I've got a bunch of stuff I can leave here, and I've got a bunch of stuff I can leave there. First off, you stay here. You stay here. You don't actually go in there. Where was I keeping these guys down here? Yeah. keeping a certain amount of that stuff handy. I'm going to trim myself back to just that much fuel. I am going to put one of these over here for stuff that I ought to recycle at some point. Oh, wait a minute. Ought to recycle? Okay, stuff that I will never need. I do not need to carry iron ingots. We've got more iron ingots than I can deal with. I am going to drop some of this stuff. Out of celebration for completion of that very, very large thingy, I'm going to just drop that stuff just like that. Anything else I want to toss in there? Well, this is where I was keeping my biologicals. Take all. Okay, there's some stuff I don't have yet. I can't make industrial beams, so we'll keep hold of those in case we need them. We can make steel beams, so we're going to go pick up some. Portable miner I don't need to carry. Silica I don't need to carry. Don't want to recycle that quite yet, just in case, because I'm not actually automating it. That should do it. Let's go get ourselves some beams. Ton of steel beams. Now I think the direction I have been going to get up here used to have a lot more green gas. This is the route that I'm walking right now that I normally take, where I've got this stuff. This guy was always here. I thought that whole area down there was kind of, you know, hard to get through. Hold on. Pale berries. I know. I'm picking up more pale berries than I could possibly ever want. Hello. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Leave the ottoman here. Actually, let's see. 7, 9, 10. So I guess we're 9 across. Okay. And what I'll do is I will put a whole bunch of those back at the main base where we can get our hands on when we need them. So what I'm doing to fling myself so hard is I'm not just jumping. That's just a jump. If you crouch and then jump, you get a little bit more oomph. And we wanted to go up. So I now have a whole bunch of stuff. So I didn't bring back modular frames. I'll go get them down below in a moment. We could do you. And we're going to put a exit thingy out here. I'm going to put all of these in, and we're going to bring back, say 2 stacks. So I need to get modular frames and a lot of cable. Let's take care of the cable. Concrete over here. Oh, I had 1,500. Okay, well, whatever. Bunch of the frames are over here. Let's grab a couple hundred of those while we're here. And maybe another stack of the rotors. And let's see, we need 100 for this. Get some extras. Yeah. Oh, boom, and boom. Can I preload this one? Yes, I can. No, I can't because I need to have steel pipes, which I haven't made yet. So we're going to unlock blueprints, and then I'm going to have to automate some steel pipes. But that's for next time.
Milestone reached. Blueprints reduce repetitive building tasks, further optimizing your progression towards saving Earth, with its beautiful ecosystems, abundant natural resources, and sunsets over frolicking puppies and kittens. The Blueprint Designer allows you to build and combine structures once and then duplicate that configuration effortlessly. Any complaints about the spatial restrictions will only reveal your own inefficiencies.
So we almost matched. That's okay. I am perfectly all right with the way that slope lands in my wide open design area here. Now, I was going to call it a recording here, but we have a blueprint designer to build. So, Blueprint Designer Mark 1. It is a 4x4 area inside a 5x5 thing. So I'm going to hologram it. We are going to set that like that. I'm going to see that it goes all the way to the edge. All the way to the edge. That. Now I could bring it in like that, which would mean that the Blueprint Designer floor is now aligned there, now aligned with me. There.
Once you have built a satisfactory blueprint, interact with the Blueprint Designer terminal to save it. It will then be available in the Blueprints tab of your build menu. Blueprints can always be edited to correct mistakes or optimize. If you find yourself struggling to work within the set size restrictions, remember that this is a you problem, and efficiency can always be improved.
Okay, so question is, okay, there are no blueprints in my library right now, so I was wondering if anything had carried over from early access. And either nothing carried over or I was good at killing off stuff. So we now have the ability to build anything that fits in this cubicle space. And that is 4x4 foundations wide by, let's see, how tall is this? So 8 4-meter foundations tall. So it's 32 meters tall. It's a 32 by 32 by 32 meter cube. And walls sit on the edge and are allowed. I don't believe anything can go all the way out. I had problems in some of my builds with things like if there's a wall with a hole in it like that. Can I in fact bring a belt to it? And apparently I can. Can I bring a belt from it? Yes, I can. So the other thing is that when you put down a blueprint, it can't intersect with anything else, which means that if you've got a bunch of things that want to connect together, you need to put down the blueprints, and you have to manually put the belts between them and pipes between them and the power between them. Which means that if you've got connecting factories, you might not want to build that wall unless you really want a small alleyway between the 4x4 areas. You really want the 4x4 areas to be adjacent. You need to be a little more careful with how you build the edges so that one side or the other owns the wall, or either side does. You put the wall in manually. I like the idea of leaving a small gap between my 4x4 areas, which allows me to run in. And if that means that the better way is to lay out a foundation and just make sure I don't use the last little bit of the strip here so I can run along this edge of my blueprint, that works too. Anyway, we're not going to sit here and design things on the blueprint quite yet, but that does mean that as we move forward, and that means that yes, I will be reworking that down there to be optimized for my reinforced iron plates. I don't know, maybe I'll have it split the resources between iron plates and frames, modular iron frames. So, okay, rework there. I will use the designer to work out how to do it. We need to go back out to the steel area and divert some of the ingots to make steel pipe. Probably divert some ingots now. Might even be able to make the pipe by hand. We don't need a lot of pipe. Hold on. How much pipe do we need? 200 pipe for that. Another 100 for that. 300 for that. So it's like 600 pipe total we need. And steel pipe, 600 be 900 ingots. We can grab 900 ingots. Okay, let's set up to divert 900 ingots before we call it. I may actually have ingots ready to go. We were idle for a long time. You know, I should have set that steel factory up to dump ingots into a box, along with sending it along to the beams. We go upstairs. I am just going to yoink. Oh, yeah. So these guys are going crazy. What I'm going to do, my production of versatile frames really does require all of these. So it requires all of my coal to be made into steel and turned into versatile frames. But if I grab you guys, that's a good start. Now the question is, can I make steel pipes by hand? Doo-doo-doo. Crafting bench. I can make 200 of these guys. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the steel pipes by hand. I will unlock the. Hold on. Thought I left it. I left it turned on. By the way, the parachute is actually a fairly fast way of getting from A to B as well. Hey, buddy. You're not authorized. Was not authorized to be here. I probably should change those from passive to defensive, because beating up on them when they can't fight back is kind of unfair, but I don't see Satisfactory as being a combat game. Doo-doo. So the first thing I am unlocking with the pipes is going to be the logistics, and the second thing is going to be advanced steel. So logistics gets me faster belts and these bigger storage containers. Is that really more important than advanced steel? Let's do advanced steel first. All I need is 100. In fact, we could just do it. Let's see. The pipes. This goes fast. Done. Boom.
Milestone reached. The Miner Mark II allows extraction of resources from nature to fix it at twice the speed of the Mark I model. Miners can be directly upgraded to Mark II without removing the Mark I model, just like conveyor belts and other upgradable infrastructure. Unfortunately, setting up the production of advanced steel parts and project part number 3, automated wiring, will not be as easy. Every moment you delay reduces the chances of saving humanity. I will not show you the predictions, it would only demotivate you.
So each miner is going to require 10 of those encased industrial beams and 20 pipes. So we're going to start needing pipes when we're building these miners. And logistics. Don't have the Mark IIIs yet. I need more pipes before I can open those up. But the other thing is, this is advanced steel. If I put out a foundry, we now have this recipe for steel ingot. Oh, we had it. We had it already. We've got no more. Okay, I thought we had an additional steel ingot. There's a better recipe. Oh! Let's see. What's new in the constructor? Well, we haven't made steel pipes yet, but they've been there. Nothing really new in the constructor. The assembler, we now know how to make the encased industrial beam, which takes steel beams and concrete. So that's why we've got the limestone up there. We'll need to mine that limestone, turn it into concrete, and combine it with steel beams to make encased industrial beams. Automated wiring needs to come back here. Stator and cable. We had rotors, we now have stators. They take steel pipes and wires, so we need to automate steel pipes. We need more coal, make more steel. Well, we can make Mark II miners. I can double the amount of coal. We are going to have to rethink our I'm going to have to rethink that whole steel foundry area. The versatile framework, that building can stay there until we're done the versatile frames. Oh boy, okay, wire, stator, steel pipe. We got motors, which are rotors and stators to make motors. And we'll figure out what they're used for. So we've got a few new parts in the assemblers, and that's about it. Actually, let's actually select logistics here. It's the next one I want to do. We can put in some of the resources here. But we can't. Gotta wait for the pod to come back. Yeah, we're going to need to automate pipes, and we're going to need to increase our steel factor. So maybe our next thing is to build a new steel factory that will take over. I can't double the coal yet because it's already turning out 120 coal per minute. I'm going to need Mark III belts before I can double my steel. Okay. Which means really the next thing we do has to be to get more pipes done and get this logistics opened up. So my factory over there is not well balanced. Remember, it was, instead of 111, it was a 121 on those belts, which means there's a good chance that it's going to be running a little slow while it builds up some steel ingots in some places. Bingo. So this one had some extra steel ingots. That means I've got over 200 now, so I now have enough steel to do this. Okay, so I guess I keep not managing to end the recording, huh? This time I'm not going to follow the belt all the way down. This could be a little bit longer handcrafting here. I'm going to get something to drink. I'll be right back. And there it is. And I did the math wrong. I forgot that it was 3 for 2, so we didn't have quite enough ingots to do the unlock. We're so close. We are so close. Come on. So the crouch jump doesn't work very well when you're headed uphill. I'm going to turn you off. Ah. So let's math it out. 186. So we need 14 more. 3 makes 2, so I need 21. Bingo. I'll turn you back on. You can keep going. This time I am going to do it here in case I miscalculated again. Steel pipes, 14 of them. Huzzah! Hey, there's Fred. That's got a lot of down. It's where these pale berries are spawning faster than I remembered them doing. Do-do. You and you and you. And I need a little bit more of reinforced iron plates. And we know where we can get those. $863. Getting closer. Yay!
Milestone reached. Improved storage containers and the conveyor belt Mark III provide the obviously necessary tools for improving your current setup. Production speed is of the essence after all. So work hard. Work as if every person you have ever or will ever love is depending solely on the choices that you make. Because they are. Warning. Fix-it psychologists recommend not dwelling on the crushing mental and physical strain of your responsibilities and simply continuing to be productive. Hard work has repeatedly proven to be the best cure for any kind of stress. Now back to work.
So, I have a coal mine, which is turning out 120 resources per minute, and I can double that to 240. Conveyor belt Mark IIIs conveniently go up to 270. So, with the Mark III belts available to me, I could make that coal mine be fully productive at 240. That said, this is going to take steel beams. Well, I've got a bunch of steel beams. I bet you I've got enough steel beams to handle that. Especially if I shift back to Mark IIs and Mark I's wherever possible. Organization. It's a double box. It's twice as big as one box. It's just like one box on top of another. The difference is there are 2 inputs and 2 outputs. And both inputs go into the box, and both outputs come from the box. So you could actually have 2 belts worth of throughput in and out rather than just one in and one out. And it's better than just putting one box over the other because it mixes. So we could have 2 belts of stuff coming in, and both of the output belts get it all. So the idea that we can double the production of all of our miners now, let's look at that again. What this costs us is we need to, let's look at what it would be to upgrade rather than build. want to upgrade him. What's it overlapping? Power? So it needs 10 industrial beams and 20 pipes. And I believe one of the miners comes from the Miner Mark II itself, but I'm not sure. Or Miner Mark I. Yeah, we need to start collecting industrial beams and steel pipes so that we can double our mining, so we can rip up our old factories and put in entirely new factories that are twice as productive. And this is where I shall plan. But not tonight. Not this recording. Honest to goodness, I'm ending the recording here. See you next time.